Good morning, everybody. It's story time. I'm Stacy, and I work at the Chippewa Branch Library. I always forget to introduce myself, and I started realizing maybe I should do that each week. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about our story hike that is up right now. We have the little snowplow up at Sully Nature Park, and if you take a hike over there, please send an email to the email that is listed on the signs over there, and let us count you. And if you want, you can get a craft that goes with the story. What else? I think that's all the announcements that I have. Yeah, and if you want storytime crafts, I still have a few left at the library. Just give us a call and leave a message because I'm not there today, and I'll get them ready for you tomorrow. And let me show you what the craft for today's book. Well, here's today's book. This is The Mitten by Jan Brett. And she has a wonderful website that if you are a Jan Brett fan especially, or if you want to use more of her ideas, she has a great website with lots of printables. And that's where I got this craft today. So The Mitten, of course, is a story about a lost mitten. And it's white, so you won't need to color this. It comes with two sides, so you'll cut it out and tape it together. Tape is the best way. And it's on cardstock that I have at the library. And then here's all the little critters and big critters that fit into the mitten to get warm out in the snow. And you'll color these, and then you'll cut them out, and you'll put them in the mitten. Pretty cool. And I have one that was already done, and it's at the library. All right, let's get started with some of our rhymes today. Let's start with this guy. Here is a guy sitting on a wall, and he's a funny shape. He's not a person shape. What is he? He's an egg shape. And who do we know that's an egg shape? And that is Humpty Dumpty. Correct. That's right. Let's do Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Good. All right. It is not the weather for these critters to be outside. What critter is this? This is a spider. And is this a scary spider, or is this our friend? This one is Itsy Bitsy. Can you show me your Itsy Bitsies? Can you get them ready? All right, ready? The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. Good. Now I'm hoping everybody can hear me. Excuse me while I check that. Ooh. There. I hope everybody can hear me now, because if you couldn't, it was probably my fault. I see Juliana's here. That's exciting. I wonder if anybody else is. I can't always see everybody, so if I don't say your name, it's not because I'm ignoring you, it's because I can't see that you're here. I'm going to cover my fingers in my gloves because it's a little chilly out again today. Colder than I expected. Alright, so what do we have here in my hand? You can see it spying through my fingers, my glove. The ABCs, the alphabet. So there is a J right there for Juliana, and an L for Leah, an A for Anna and Aniston, an E for Ensley. Who else? X down here for Xavier, an S up here for Stacy, that's me. And there's an R right next to it for Ryder, that's my last name. Let's see, a W for Wade, that's my husband. And an R for Reagan, who's my daughter who's in the house. And K for Kent for my son. Let's see, who else? An H for Hazel. An L for Landon, and an H for Hudson. Trying to think of some other names of people I know. An S for Sebastian. I'm not sure that he's watching. Lots and lots of kids have come through story time. All right, let's do the ABCs. Ready? Let's get it in a good light. There we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Good job. All right, let's do a pokey. The winter pokey. And you see I'm wearing my mittens and I have a scarf on today. I'm not wearing boots, I'm wearing shoes. And what else? I'm not wearing a hat, but I have one on my coat, a hood. So let's do the winter pokey. And what happens is it's kind of like the hokey pokey, if you've done that before. You put your right mitten in, you take your right mitten out, you put your right mitten in, and yeah, shake it all about. Then you do your right one, and then you have your left one, and then you do your right boot, and your left boot, your warm hat, and your snowsuit, which I'm also not wearing a snowsuit. So, this one's a stand-up one. This one's a stand-up one. I can't stand up because then you won't see me. So, all right, let's start with our mittens. You put your right mitten in, you take your right mitten out, you put your right mitten in, and you shake it all about. You do the winter pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Left mitten. You put your left mitten in, you put your left mitten out. You put your left mitten in and you shake it all about. You do the winter pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Right boot. You put your right boot in, you take your right boot out. You put your right boot in and you shake it all about. You do the winter pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Left boot. You put your left boot in, you take your left boot out. You put your left boot in and you shake it all about. You do the winter pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your warm hat in, you take your warm hat out. You put your warm hat in and you shake it all about. You do the winter pokey and you turn yourself about. That's what it's all about. All right, you put your snowsuit in, so you're going to jump in. You put your snowsuit in, you take your snowsuit out. You put your snowsuit in and you shake it all about. You do the winter pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. That's a fun one, isn't it? Did you jump all around? Did you knock anything down? You got to be careful that you don't knock things down when you're doing the pokey. All right, what do we have here? We have a train, choo-choo train, an engine, and there's some cars, and there's some steam. This is down by the station. Are you ready? Down by the station, early in the morning, see the little puffer bellies all in a row. See the station master pull the little handle. Puff, puff, toot, toot, off we go. Good. I know you guys remember a lot of these. Let's see. We see the little mouse, and we see the clock, the grandfather clock. Remember I told you that? And this thing in the middle of the clock here is a pendulum. And it swings back and forth while the clock ticks. It keeps the time. Pretty neat. All right, you ready? Hickory dickory dock. The mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck 1. The mouse ran down. Hickory dickory dock. All right. And we know this is our last one because we have the little baby grannies. And they are wearing glasses. Now I'm going to need my fingers for this one. So I'll fold my glove back. There we go. Can you make little pinchies like this? Can you pinch your fingers together to make little glasses? Juliana, I know you can. All right, ready? These are Grandma's glasses, and this is Grandma's hat, and this is the way she folds her hands in her lap. These are Grandpa's glasses, and this is Grandpa's hat, And this is the way he folds his arms and takes a nap. All right. Let's see. Our book today. Again, it's the Mitten. Now you can see this is one of our library books, and there are some scribbles on the library book. And this is a good time to tell you that when you borrow some books from people, especially the library or even your friends, that you don't write in them or on them, and you don't rip the pages or you don't cut them. That's something you need to take care of, because you're going to return it so that the next person can borrow it and enjoy it as well. So, not that this is less enjoyable, it's just we see that mark on there. So I'm going to have to try to clean that off today. All right. The Mitten. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to turn the pages. I'm going to have to take my gloves off. Oh, look at that. Does this remind you of the book we had for the story hike last in December? Last time at Christmas time, the Gingerbread Christmas. Same characters, some of them, not all of them. All right, this is a boy named Nicky. He wanted his new mittens made from wool as white as snow. My mittens are not as white as the snow. They are gray. And here's his grandma getting the wool yarn. There she is. She was spinning yarn. Interesting. All right. Here we go. At first, his grandmother, Baba, did not want to knit white mittens. If you drop one in the snow, she warned, you'll never find it. But Nicky wanted snow white mittens, and finally, Baba made them. You see the warm fire there, and the big barrel of yarn by Nicky's feet. Right here. There we go. Grandma knitting. Baba. Do you call your grandma Baba? I know some people who do. All right. After she finished, she said, when you come home, first I will look to see if you're safe and sound, but then I will look to see if you still have your snow white mittens. So off Nicky went, and it wasn't long until one of his new mittens dropped in the snow and was left behind. Uh-oh. Grandmas know. They know that we lose things. Here his mitten is tucked in his belt. He's not wearing them. Look at that little guy. Who is that? That's a little snowshoe rabbit. All right. A mole, tired from tunneling along, discovered the mitten and burrowed inside. It was cozy and warm and just the right size, so he decided to stay. Let's see if we see him anywhere. Oh, there he is. Can you see him? Here's the mole burrowing, getting ready to burrow into that mitten under the tree. And there is the snowshoe rabbit coming out of his hidey hole. Let's see what he's going to do. Next. Did I miss a page? I think I did. Hang on. I gotta get the right thing. I did miss a page. No. Is there a page missing? That's really weird. Next, a hedgehog came along sniffling, and having spent the day looking under wet leaves for things to eat, he decided to move into the mitten and warm himself. The mole and the rabbit were bumped and jostled, but not being ones to argue with someone covered with prickles, they made room. Now, I don't know when the rabbit got in there. It didn't really say, and I feel like there's a page missing. But I don't know how. As soon as the hedgehog disappeared into the mitten, a big owl, attracted by the commotion, swooped down. When he decided to move in also, the mole, the rabbit, and the hedgehog grumbled, but when they saw the owl's glinty talons, they quickly let him in. Do you see what talons are? They are on the ends of their feet, and they are sharp, and we would call them claws, but on a bird of prey like an owl, they're called talons. Look at all those animals stuffed into that one white mitten. What's going on over here? Who do we have here? Let's see. Do you know what that animal is? It's black and white, but it's not a skunk, because this book is about over in Europe, and they don't really have skunks there, I don't think. They have badgers. Up through the snow appeared a badger. He eyed the mitten and began to climb in. The mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, and the owl were not pleased. There was no room left, but when they saw his diggers, they gave him the thumb. So that badger's going to go in the thumb. Who's that coming? My goodness. Look at that. This is a silly bunch of animals. It started snowing, but the animals were snug in the mitten. A waft of warm steam rose in the air, and a fox trotting by stopped to investigate. Just the sight of the cozy mitten made him feel drowsy. The fox poked his muzzle in. When the mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, the owl, and the badger saw his shiny teeth, they gave the fox lots of room. So there's some big words in here. Investigate means to look around and figure it out. Just the sight of the... Excuse me, let me turn that off. Oh, for heaven's sake. I don't know who that was. Sorry. So investigate is a big word. Let's see. Drowsy means sleepy. What other word did I see in there that I thought? Muzzle. On a dog or a cat or an other wild animal, this part where the nose and the mouth are together, that snout, is a muzzle. So that was the word I was looking for to tell you what that kind of meant. Oh, goodness. A great bear lumbered by. He spied the mitten all plumped up. Not being one to be left out in the cold, he began to nose his way in. The animals were packed in as tightly as could be, but what animal would argue with a bear? Oh my goodness. Is he going to fit in there? I don't know. Okay, let me see. The mitten swelled and stretched. It was pulled and bulged too many times its size. But Baba's good knitting held fast. And who's this coming over here? There. Is that a meadow mouse? You might have just said mouse, and that's okay. Because mice live in a lot of places, not just the meadow. Along came a meadow mouse no bigger than an acorn. She wriggled into the one space left and made herself comfortable on top of the great bear's nose. Look at that. Oh no. Look at Nicky. What does he see? That he is missing his mitten. He's been playing all this time, not noticing. Oh, what on earth happened here? So we have Nicky going to look. We have all kinds of things happening with the animals, and Nicky running. Let's see what it says. The bear, tickled by the mouse's whiskers, let me see if I can read it this way. Tickled by the mouse's whiskers, gave an enormous sneeze. Can you sneeze really big? Achoo! Achoo! The force of the sneeze shot the mitten up into the sky and scattered the animals in all directions. Oh my goodness. Could you imagine? Could you imagine being stuck in a glove with all of those critters? I'd feel very uncomfortable. Oh, look at the fox. And who's this? The mouse. They look a little dizzy. And the owl's back there too. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. On his way home, Nicky saw a white shape in the distance. It was the lost Mitten silhouetted against the blue sky. Look, it's flying in the air. Look at these animals over here. Oh my goodness, they're so silly. Why did they think they could all fit in there for very long? As he ran to catch it, his snow white mitten, he saw Baba's face in the window. First, she looked to see if he was safe and sound, and then she saw that he still had his new mittens. He was lucky he found it, wasn't he? But, look at that. What happened? That's a pretty big mitten now. She's going to have to knit him a new one, isn't she? Oh, goodness. All right, you guys. So like I said, if you want to still get a craft packet from the library, I have 3 left there today. So if you call today and you ask, somebody should know where they are, and you can get one today. But there are only 3. If I have more calls than that, I will have to get some packets ready tomorrow when I'm at work. Go see the little snowplow at the story hike at the park, at the meadow in the park, and take a look around. And if you've been going to the park all year since we started doing the story hikes, it's really amazing to see the changes in the park since June, when I first started putting story hikes up, through now, which is January, and to see everything is patted down in some places. All the stuff that was growing really bright and green is now dark. And the reason they don't cut it down to start new stuff yet is because there are little critters living inside those stems. Who knew? And it's, it's shelter for the bugs and some of the animals and that kind of thing. So I'm really excited to see, as the weather gets warmer, what changes there will be at the park, because they will mow the meadow so that it can grow fresh. But we'll keep doing story hikes. Oh, we do have a story hike planned for February, the end of February into March, for Read Across America Week. So look forward to that as well. But like right now, I said that the little snowplow is up right now. So that's a good one to share. And a lot of people have been going. They went this weekend to see it and see the hike in the snow. So it's really fun. All right, you guys, have a great day, great week. This was our last story time for January. I will see you on February 3rd for our next story time.